Okay, friends, Doc South here, and I don't know if I ever told you this, but I was a child TV star. Well, for at least a day. Yeah. How? Yeah, this is interesting. I would have been, oh my gosh, it had to be back in maybe 1950, somewhere around 1952 to maybe, I'd say around 1952. I was probably about 6 years old, give or take. And my father, I remember mom was all excited. Oh, I don't know. They were just talking about something they were going to do for me, and uh, they I of course I go running into the kitchen and hey, what are you guys talking about? What's going on? We going to Bertrand's Island Amusement Park or what? And they said no, something even better. I remember my father said, you know what I got you? He said, my father had a jewelry store, and maybe someone came through the jewelry store and gave him these tickets. He said, I've got tickets here for you. I got tickets here for you to go see that TV show you like. You're going to be on the show. I said, yeah, what, Uncle Fred? She says, yeah, the Uncle Fred. My mom chimed in. She says, yeah, that's Uncle Fred's Frolics. You're going to be in the gallery behind Uncle Fred. I said, no, really? Well, all those cartoons we're going to see. I'm going to be there and see cartoons and Uncle Fred. I think they give away popcorn and stuff, and at the end of everyone gets a goodie bag. And whoa, my head's just spinning. I said, so when's this happen? What? Where? Where? Who? My father said, well, sometime next week we're gonna take you out there, and you're gonna be on the show. And I forget what day of the week it would have been, but I think Uncle Fred had, God, I can't remember. I think it was a morning show. No, or it may have been a Saturday show. It was similar to the old Howdy Doody show from back then. Yeah, only the kids pretty much stayed behind a counter in their chairs. Uncle Fred had like a podium, and I guess he would talk to the kids a little bit and get them to clap and holler. And gee, well, anyway, the big day comes, and we drive out to Newark. We lived in Elizabeth, so it was only about 20 minutes, half hour. Pull up to my father gets a parking spot, and then we go to Channel 13. And if I recall right, it was kind of where we went into, it was kind of darkish with just a little bit of light here and there. And it was like stage lights around, overhead. And you could see like, wow, my gosh, I'm walking a week. It's like a guide picked us, got us and was walking us through the studio. And he says, now, boys and girls, make sure you, because there was a few other kids with me. And he says, be sure you walk, just follow me. Don't go to left or right. Don't wander off because there's a lot of electricity in this room, a lot of electrical wires. We don't want you touching any of them. And the guide pointed out some of these big wires for, I guess, for keeping the overhead lights supplied with electricity. And I suppose some of those wires were for spotlights. And they had guys with, that were working, adjusting a spotlight or working on a microphone. And then I walked past, gosh, there's, Whoopi the Clown's set. Maybe I'm just saying Whoopi the Clown. I don't know which clown. Heck, I have no idea. But I seem to remember, yeah, Whoopi or the clown did like cartoons, like at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Uncle Fred came on at like 5. I had it all down. And when we walked past, I think it was Gabby Hayes's outpost, which again was about the size of a, truth be known, the whole set was about the size of a queen size bed. But if you didn't back the camera up too much, it looked like you were, at a frontier town, uh, with Gabby there in the middle, uh, selling you, I don't know, Rice Krispies and cocoa malt, and getting you to, to stay tuned for the heaven knows the Jolly Joe show or whoever. I mean, it was a long time ago, but these were all, as far as I was concerned, it was like, my parents going to see Clark Gable. These guys were all like walking around, and I didn't realize. But Gabby, I saw the guy with the beard and everything. I realized that's Gabby Hayes, but he's wearing a suit. Yeah. I guess I think one of the kids said, "How come Gabby's wearing a suit?" He says, "Well, he's just coming in from." Uh, he does other jobs here, boys and girls, but eventually he'll get into his Gabby Hayes costume, and he'll do his show. But right now he's busy selling some advertising or whatever. In other words, it was, it was just amazing. And eventually get to Uncle Fred's set, and just like we saw on TV, there's the podium in the middle. There's the gallery to left or right, with seats for us to sit at. So we're sitting behind this. We're like at this big desk. Only it really wasn't a desk, but it was like a set. And we sat there. Uncle Fred came out, said, "Hi, boys and girls, how you doing?" Hey, we're going nuts. And he says, "Well, boy, you're a lively bunch. Now listen, when you see Mr. Jones over here, when he goes like this, you guys are supposed to holler and clap. Now, Joe, to give that a try, will you?" And Joe goes, "Ah," and we go, "Ah." And he says, "Great, you kids are going to be fantastic. That's what you got to do, okay? Now, if you're all going to get a nice package, a little gift package of cocoa malt. I think there was some kind of candy. Oh, Sky Bars. We're going to get you some Sky Bars. And there's, I don't know, an autographed picture of Uncle Joe or whoever, and Uncle Fred." And he says, and I've autographed all these for you too. And oh man, you thought we thought we died and went to heaven. And we're waiting to see the cartoons. And it turns out that the cartoons would show on little TV sets in front of us, which were the Uncle Fred called them monitors. He said that way you know what's going out to your friends and all who are perhaps watching you on TV today, and your parents may be watching. Well, one kid raised his hands. "My mom's here already." "Oh, good, good. And what's your name?" "Billy." "Okay, good, Billy. And where's your mom?" "Yeah, right over there. See her?" "Well, hi. Wow, you have a wonderful child." And all this stuff. And some director came out and was telling us the different things. When he raised his hands, we were supposed to clap. When he went like this, we were supposed to cheer, and like that. And gee, I got to say, it was kind of fun. You couldn't really see a whole lot of the Farmer Gray cartoons. The TVs back then, they didn't have big screens. They were relatively small, but they had enough of them out in front of us so that we could sort of see them, and you couldn't hear anything necessarily. Somehow they, somehow or another, they couldn't. You couldn't have the sound of us screaming or watching the cartoon and do the cartoon too somehow. So if I recall right, it may be also that the TVs we were watching didn't actually have sound. They were just showing us the visual. So, but then again, Farmer Gray cartoons or Flip the Frogs were pretty much not not soundies, shall we say? Yeah, they were pretty much silent cartoons from, I don't even know how far back, but pretty far, probably before World War II. But again, we're talking the early 50s, so cartoons were starting to do okay on TV, but yeah, still had a lot to go. But it was, oh gosh, it was such fun. And yeah, we got our Sky bars, and I don't know, there was, like I said, I think it was cocoa malt and I think one of us had to. It wasn't me. I didn't get picked, but I think one kid had to show how you make cocoa malt. You pour the powder into the glass, okay, about that much, and then a little bit of water, and then you stir it with a spoon till it becomes kind of like mud, and then you pour the water over a little bit of milk, right? Not water, milk. Stir that up, and then pour in the rest of the milk. And if you've got the special shaker, well, then you can shake it too, and it gets all foamy. And I think we all got the shaker, if I recall right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Uncle Fred, yeah, he was very nice when the show was over. He thanked us all, and I guess he went out and had a cigarette. We went back home with tales to tell. It was all so simple when I think about it. It was actually a pretty cool thing to say, and uh, I don't know. I'm wondering, I'm wondering if Uncle Fred had. I think he may have been one of the big shots at the station somehow. I mean, besides being the star, I think he had something to do with running, being like one of the executives too. But he seemed very nice. Seemed very nice. No, never saw him. Well, we watched him on TV like crazy. And of course, all my friends that didn't get to go, I'm pointing where I sat. I was just two people away from Uncle Fred. He handed me a Sky bar, an extra Sky bar. Yeah, really? Oh, like that. Oh, the simple little things. The simple little things. But that was a pretty cool deal. Anyway, I'll see you later. Eventually, yeah, I got to doing radio. Never really. I don't think I have a face for TV, do I? Nah. So, love talking though. We'll catch you later. God bless, and God bless Uncle Fred. He can't. I don't can't imagine he'd be alive anymore. But he was pretty much Mr. Big there to us kids. I'll see you later. Bye now.